following is a Night Owl presentation.
Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the closing tag site build here on Twitch, the Galactic Blue channel. My name is Raul Smith. I am the president, CEO, co-founder, and lead developer for Galactic Blue, as well as the host of the Closing Tag podcast, which you can find on pretty much any podcast platform, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. That's an important distinction that we'll come back to here in a bit. So, when we last left off a couple weeks ago, we were in the process of getting the contact page built. Let me go ahead and show you some other stuff that's been going on kind of behind the scenes over the last, I'd say, roughly 2 weeks. So as you can see, we have some banners now for the home page. Doesn't look like much now, but once we get some banners set up, I haven't had a chance to get some banners set up. So once we get that going, I think that's going to really start taking off. We still haven't touched the About Us page. We'll do that tonight for sure. Alright, and then here's the aforementioned contact page. The privacy page we pretty much got taken care of last time. It's a basic boilerplate template type of privacy page. Basically informing the user that we're not going to be selling their information, to third-party advertisers and so on and so forth. In fact, I make it a point to not have any advertising whatsoever on the Closing Tag website. The podcast, that's a different story. Kind of need to pay bills, you know what I'm saying? But for the website, we definitely want to try and minimize the amount of advertising, if not completely remove advertising altogether from the website. Another page that I want to touch on tonight before we sign off for the evening is the archives page. The archives page is going to be the key because, as you may have noticed, when you go on, like, say, Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Pandora or whatever, the archives for the Closing Tag podcast only go back so far. I think right now it's at like episode 8. So the idea with this website, on top of, giving you guys information and kind of keeping everybody up to speed on like current events, what's going on with the website and the podcast, that sort of thing. And also, hey, in case you missed it, part of what I want to do with this website is allow people to go back and listen to pretty much any episode that I've ever recorded for the Closing Tag podcast. So if you want to go back and listen to my rant on Donald Trump, you want to go back and listen to my rant on cancel culture, I'm using the air quotes here, you want to listen to my rant about the Utah Jazz, all 5 of them, it's going to be on this page, as well as the YouTube, the YouTube archives. So that's another thing I want to try and do tonight, is I want to see if there's a way to get the playlist set up and then integrated into the website. But first things first, let's go ahead and get this taken care of. So as we switch over to VS Code, I already have the split screen set up. Now, hold on. Stand by. There we go. That's better. All right, so as you can see, I have my split screen set up. So on one side is the contact page for the closing tag. The other side is a contact page for another website that I've done in the past. So my philosophy and thinking is, why reinvent the wheel? So I'll go through step by step, kind of tell you what all my thought process is. So we're going to set up our state for customer name, customer email, customer phone, contact time, contact method, message, and mail sent right here, if the box would go away. We have our event listeners right here. So contact time and contact method. That's very important because with radio buttons in React, you have to have that set up, otherwise it's not going to work properly. And then our handle form submit, which we'll touch on here in a bit. But first things first, we're going to try and get these things right here resolved. So we're going to do this the easy way. Love VS Code for this exact reason right here. See, problem solved. So now, let's go ahead and save it. And if we switch over, it did the job, but as you can see, it's kind of small. We kind of don't want it small. So we're going to switch it back over. Let's check out what, so this right here is a good example. So which way do you prefer we contact you? As you see on this screen, which way do you prefer we contact you is in big bold letters. That's what we want. So let's go ahead and switch that up. Now the best way to do that inside a form in React, well, React Bootstrap, is we want to set the class name inside the form labels. So we're going to do this in another really cool, awesome, at least I think, awesome way. If I can find, here we go, right here. So there's another form label. Here's another one. And go like DJ Khaled. And another one. And another one. So here's the cool thing about VS Code is you can do this. By holding, at least on Windows, the Alt key, I think it's Control for Mac, and selecting, you have to be very careful about it though, by selecting where you want to place what you're about to type on each line. You can type it one time, but multiple times. I'll show you. So we want to go class name equals h4. I just had to type that one time, and it shows up here, it shows up here, it shows up here, and it shows up all the way down here. Now I saved it, and that is much better. So now the key is to get it to work. That's why I have this pulled up. So let's go ahead and start setting that up. So inside the form handle submit, hold on one second. I haven't had dinner yet, so if I make any disgusting eating sounds that you guys can hear, I apologize in advance. The life of a busy web developer, let me tell you. Again, my apologies. So inside this form handler submit event listener, good rule of thumb when you're handling any kind of form in JavaScript, whether it be React, vanilla JavaScript, Vue.js, Angular, whatever, always prevent the default event, because what that does, if you don't prevent it, it basically submits the form as HTML. You don't want to do that. You want to be able, especially in React, to submit it as kind of a multi-layer form where you can pretty much set what it is that you want to submit or send out. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to call on a third-party thing called Axios. That's spelled A-X-I-O-S, in case that's too small to read. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to ping or send a request to wherever it is that we're sending the request to, which is going to be this API path variable right here. And I'll tell you what that means here in a bit. So let's go Axios. So the method, we're going to want post. The URL is going to be our API path variable. Headers is going to be content type. You always want a content type associated with your contact form. And in this case, it's going to be an application JSON file. And then the data, which is the key here, which is like the bread and butter. This is the meat and potatoes of this entire contact form, is going to be your states. So your customer name, customer email, customer form or phone, contact time, contact method, and message. Notice I did not put in mail sent. That's going to be key here in a bit. So since there's no other things in the Axios call itself, we're going to go ahead and not put a comma there. On the next line, we're going to put a then result. So this is basically your catch-all. So if there's a result, then do this. We're going to set our mail sent state result data sent. And that's going to come in handy here in a bit. we're also going to call another third-party React library called Swal or Sweet Alert. And basically what this Sweet Alert is it allows for more intricate and more fancy, I guess you could say, pop-up modals. So have you ever gone on a website and something pops up out of nowhere, taking up like half the screen, right in the middle of the screen? That's a pop-up modal. The Sweet Alert is basically a fancier version of that. So because we want to alert the customer once they hit submit that their form has gone through and that it's been received, we want to give them some kind of online, on-screen indication that that is the case. So that's what the Sweet Alert's going to do. It's going to let them know, hey, success, we have received your message, and we'll respond in the next couple of days. And yes, I'm copying this verbatim. We'll deal with it later. And then we want to set a color scheme. So if you ever notice with Bootstrap, there's success, alert, info, danger. We want to definitely give it the success color scheme. So type in success. And that is for if there's a result. Now, if there's not a result, we want a catch-all for that as well. So catch error, and we definitely want to give a Sweet Alert for this as well, even though if you do end up getting something like this, not so sweet, but yeah. Uh-oh, something went wrong. Oh, you know what? Something did go wrong. Hold on 1 second. We'll give it an error color scheme. One thing I forgot to do just now, up here, I'm going to do this. Keep them separate. So go ahead and save that. And yes, I know there's an error. We'll figure it out here in a bit. Line 13. The hell? Well, this is a little weird. Okay. So it's letting me know that there's an assignment or function call that was expected, but instead it got an expression. So let's investigate. It's telling me it's on line it's line 33. Right here. Very curious. Very, very curious indeed. So I'm wondering, may have to do this a different way. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just kind of glancing through this here. This is very curious indeed. So now, let's kind of ignore that for a quick second. Sorry, I'm kind of eating again. You understand my dilemma. Been running ragged all day, and a part of me wanted to skip again this week, but at the same time, I knew I was not going to be able to get away with a third week in a row of not doing the stream, especially if I'm giving myself a self-imposed deadline of getting the site done. On the other hand, I don't want to go without dinner, so because my levels are just all over the place right now. So I've got to try and keep up on my eating, but at the same time, I really want to get this site done. So it's my own issues. Yeah. Anyway, so back to it. So as you can see, this is a PHP file, and you know this because it has that little caret with the question mark PHP. So basically what it's saying here, we're going to skip this other stuff here, is if the customer name and customer email states are empty, then terminate the connection or die, or yeah. But if they're not empty, set the following to go. So the first things first, let's get rid of that dialog box. We're going to set the response code to 200. And if you know what 200 response code is, that means everything's okay, everything worked, submission has been approved, the whole ball and yarn. The subject is going to be, you have mail, someone is contacting you. That's going to be what people see, or what I see rather, in my inbox as I'm opening the mail. The email address is going to be sent to raul@theclosingtag.com. And because I've already set up mail forwarding and mail copying, CCing, all that fun what, we're not going to worry about doing a carbon copy. Sounds good? Sounds good. Now we're going to set the message, and it's basically going to be your basic standard late 90s, early 2000s HTML. So it's going to be your doc type, HTML, head title, you have mail from the closing tag. Don't forget your closing tags. Body H1. We're going to get rid of the style right here. I'm just going to have it as a standard H1. Someone is wishing to contact you, and because I'm not Tiger, I am going to do that. So it's going to set the name as the customer name. It's going to set their email, customer email, phone, customer phone. They would prefer to be contacted by It's going to select their contact method. It's either going to be day, afternoon, or evening. So in the daytime, in the afternoon time, in the evening time. Again, I'm the only one that's going to be seeing this message, so if it makes sense to me, I'm good. Their message, it's going to post a message if they have one, and then again, don't forget your closing tags right there. That's going to finish up the message. Then we're going to set the headers. So from certain email, reply to certain email. So this helps, especially with me, because it's not that I'm not competent, it's that I'm kind of lazy in that I see an email, I don't want to have to work around and copy paste the email address into a new message. I want to be able to say reply, okay, what can I do for you? Send. That's what I want to do. So this helps with that. MIME version 1.0, content type text HTML, char set ISO 8859-1. That's going to send the mail with all those variables. Now this is the thing that I was telling you about earlier. This echo JSON encode array. So it's going to send the sent. So if we go over here, result data sent right here. It's going to set that to true. Now once that's set to true, then it says set mail sent to true. It's going to set a modal, which I'll show you here in a bit. It's going to set that to true as well. Else, set to false, set the message, hey, something went wrong. So that's what that's going to do. Now, go ahead and save that. This is the key. Notice it did not say localhost or anything like that here. We're using the actual website URL. Now, I'm not going to be able to show it to you right now, but we are going to go ahead and upload this particular thing here in a bit. Let me just pull it up real quick. Like I said, I've been running ragged all day today, so I'm kind of just taking it all in. So now I'm going to control click on this. Now normally if there is any chance of it not being on the server, if it's not there, if the file is physically not there, it'll trigger a 404 error. Notice we're not seeing a 404 error. That means the file's there. It just hasn't been given the appropriate credentials yet. So, with that done, let's go back to figuring out why this thing's having an issue. Okay. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I got a text message. We'll deal with that as we go. But anyway, so go ahead and figure out why this is having an issue right here. So what does it mean by expect an assignment or function call and instead saw an expression? Well, let's do what any respectable web developer would do in this case. Search it on Google. No, literally, that's what any would do, is they would search it on Google. Okay. Well, that makes no sense. Give me 1 second again. Hold on. I'm gonna check one other source here. That makes no sense either. Let's move you over here for like 2 seconds. Thank you. This is very, very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and terminate it, and then we're going to run Hoot again. Something's very fishy about this. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay. I think I might have figured out what's going on here. Or that just breaks everything else even further. Very curious. How's this gonna work? If you guys could excuse me for like 2 seconds, I need to test something. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I think I may have figured out what was going on. So let's go back to VS Code for a second. Let's see here. We're on contact, right? Okay. So I think it's basically telling me not to put the curly brackets there. I think that may have just fixed it. All right. So let's go ahead. npm run hoot. Since I had to close it down. All right. And let's see if we get that same error. We do not. Okay then. All right. So now that we've pretty much got, aside from testing, which I'll do off stream, so we pretty much got the contact page resolved, designed up, and all the bells and whistles and whatnot. Let us focus on the about page. This is going to be the fun one. So let's make sure we've got all the stuff we need. Okay. I think it's pretty much already got the fluid page, whatnot, all the dimensions down and everything. So let's just go ahead. Do header h1, class name display4, about the closing tag. Give it a row. Wait. Give it a row. There we go. And as you notice, when I clicked on that just now, it auto imported it from React Bootstrap, which we want. And do the same thing with column, or col, C-O-L. And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to divide, I'm going to show you here. And switch over to the about page. I want to divide the page practically about 70-30. And what I want on the 70 part is basically like, this is how the podcast started, this is how, how long it's been going on, and what all do we talk about, and then on that 30 part right here is going to be my picture and bio. And it's going to stay 70-30 pretty much regardless of what screen size you're going to be viewing it on. So let's go ahead and head back here. Column. Now, with these columns, we are going to want to give them class names. So let's say call 5 on this one. Actually, no, call 4. And this one will give a class name of call 8. So now, hold that thought. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and put some boilerplate text right here. I call it dummy text. Some people call it lipsum, lorem ipsum, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to do that real quick here. Let me just pull up the website. And go 3 paragraphs right here. Beautiful. Ah, no. Okay, and that takes care of that. And basically what lorem ipsum is it basically allows the developer, me, to see how text is going to look on a website page without using actual text. Does that make sense? So the idea or thinking behind that is, if we just put like dummy text down, sometimes a client doesn't have the text for it right now, but you still need to figure out exactly how it's going to look, but you don't want to wait until that text comes in. So now with this is going to be interesting because we don't have an image right now. I have to go on Photoshop and crop it and make myself look nice and pretty. So we're probably gonna have to do this instead. Div class name equals mx auto and then we're going to actually have a style. So don't freak out. We're going to do styling here in JSX. So do this, and then we'll do our height. We're going to give it about I'd say 150. Width is going to be about a 300. No, we're going to go 80%. So it's actually, yeah, let's do that. And then something's yelling at me again. All right, fine. Do 200 for now. We'll give it a style and class name and whatnot at some point, once I get the image that I want actually ready to go. And then underneath that, let's do a couple line breaks. Then we're going to go ahead and put some more lorem ipsum right about here. Let's go ahead and save it. Actually, we're going to want to give this a color as well. BG color, or background color, I guess. We're going full verbiage here. We're going to give it a background color of green. I just figured out what I need to do here. Save it. Let's go ahead and bring this height up to about 300. So let's go ahead and switch it over. And imagine, if you will, for 1 second, this green box right here being a picture of me. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now the last thing I want to do for tonight is we just want to start getting the archives up and running. So the one thing we're going to want to do that is, first of all, get the archives page up and running. But at the same time, we also want to do a component. So basically, a reusable component in React is a component that you can use again and again and again and again and again without having to type it out 100 times. So the idea that I have in mind is I want to have a page that on one side has all the audio archives. So every single episode of the closing tag in audio format on one side of the page. And then on the other side of the page, I want to have every single one of those same episodes in video format from YouTube. We're not going to worry about the video format tonight. I'll worry about that next time. So let's go ahead and set up at least the architecture for what's going to be the audio archives. So let's go, again, we're going to import row. I'm going to go ahead and import column as well. And give it a class name of col6. Keep in mind, when you're setting up columns in a grid format on Bootstrap or CSS, that you want to keep the number 12 in the back of your mind, because a screen, regardless of what size it is in Bootstrap, is 12 columns wide. So we're going to give it h3 class name of display4. And this is going to be the audio archives. And we're going to do the exact same thing only video archives. So let's save it and find out if this is going to work, which I think, by the looks of it, it will. Okay. And now the fun happens. I'm going to go ahead and do some research on like how to display a music player in a React app. Give me 1 second while I type. Okay. So it looks like 90% of the job that I was planning on doing has already been done, which I will take gladly. So we're going to go ahead and close the browser tab out, and we're going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to go ahead, npm install save React Audio Player. And I get there's 13 vulnerabilities. I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so now up here we're going to go ahead and import React Audio Player from React Audio Player. Perfect. Wow, my voice is going. All right, so now underneath the audio archives, first things first is we want to set up a JSON file or something that basically says, okay, here's how many there are from number 1 all the way up to X, which today would be 14. That may change here in the next couple weeks, I don't know. So we want to go ahead and set up a file somewhere. Give me 1 second, I'm going to do another. Basically, I'm taking all of my experiences and all of the stuff that I've done over the years and just kind of melding them into this one nice big boiling pot, if that makes any sense. If you forgive me for about 2 seconds here, I'm going to switch over to this. Okay, so I need to do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of going through this again. Archive list equals, and then export default archive list. So let's go ahead and switch it back over so you can see what I'm doing here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a list, basically calling it the archive list. So with every entry, there's going to be 3 variables or 3 key elements. There's going to be the number of the episode, so episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. There's going to be the title, so it'll be like, say for instance, this last episode was The Interview You've Been Waiting For with McLean Lindquist. And then the third, probably not as important as the other two, is kind of a brief synopsis of what the episode's about. So basically taking the description from how it would look in like Apple Podcasts or Pandora or whatever and displaying it that way. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Episode number, it's going to be 14. Actually 1. Let's do 1 first. So we're doing episode 1 Let me just take a look at something very quickly. Title is going to be pilot or something. Then description. This is going to be in HTML, so we're going to do a little bit of finagling here. Okay. Okay. This part's going to be kind of tricky, so I'm just going to go over that later. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so actually let's do it without that. We don't really need to do that, I don't think. Just do it this way. That'll work. And so that is going to allow us, okay, can't see what I'm doing here, but that's okay. If I can spell, that would be fantastic. Archive list dot, is it JSON? I think it's JSON. Let's see. No, it's not JSON. Hold on. Let's close this first. JS.js, not JSON. Okay. So, where are you? In components, right. So we're going to rename you archive list.json. Or not JSON, JS. Oh my gosh, you can tell it's been a long day for me, guys. So now, we're going to go ahead and set up, well, first of all, we want to import archive list from components archive list. Save that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just kind of browsing through something real quick here. Okay, that's something I'll have to look at later. Okay, so go ahead and do a map. So archive list dot map Give me a second again, guys. Hold on. Just Don't mind the starting screen. Okay, okay. You're of no help whatsoever. Okay, so let's try a different one. One that I know does work. Okay. No. Okay. Let me switch it back. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So we're going to try this one last thing and then probably going to call it for tonight. So archive list dot map and go archive. Oh. Again, if I can type, that would be fantastic. Okay, why are you yelling at me all of a sudden? What's going on here? Okay, 1 second. I was just dealing with this earlier today. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Okay. Oh, and now all of a sudden that's not an issue. All right, that works. P equals archive dot episode number. You notice as I was typing that, the episode number part came in almost right away. So you know that it's actually communicating with the file. Okay, so give it an H4, the closing tag, episode archive, bloody hell, dot episode number, then archive dot episode, or not episode, title. Ah, these bloody dialog boxes, I swear. Okay. Okay. Now the fun part. If I can find it again. There it is. and go ahead and institute React Audio Player. Again, if I can type, that would be fantastic. Sometimes Visual Studio Code makes things so much easier, but sometimes it can be a real pain in my neck. You know that? Anyway. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking up the file name here. Okay. closingtag.com/audio/ oh, I've got to fix this. Hold that thought. We may need to put in a fourth, well, no. That should work just fine. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll have to fix that later. Anyway. I'm just trying to figure this out. Because what I want to do is I want to put in like a either, let's see. No. Well, it's not going to let me do any ternary at all. Oh, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a very major problem. Well, we may have to settle for a different thing. So anyway, so now that I've pretty much run into a complete roadblock, we're going to call it there for tonight. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series, the website build for the closing tag. Kind of peer a little bit into how I think and my thought process, and you know what all it takes to really build a website. So my philosophy, my plan is, I think we're probably going to be able to do 2 or 3 more episodes of this particular series before the site is officially ready for launch. Once that's done, I am contemplating either scaling back tremendously or shutting down the Galactic Blue channel altogether. I don't know what else I'm going to be able to do. My schedule has been very sporadic as of late. I've found myself busier than usual. I mean, you saw I had a very difficult time, getting dinner in before the stream. So there's a lot going on right now that I'm not privy to really disclose right now. So as soon as this particular website series is done, we'll probably call it for this channel. But I did want to thank everybody that is watching this either on Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook. I appreciate everybody, watching and following along. It's been an honor to, present this to you. And so I'll hopefully be back here next week, next Monday. No promises. My schedule's still in flux, so yeah, just be patient with me as I go through these growing pains, and hope to see you guys next week. Take care, guys.
On that, our presentation.